Well, hello out there. We're on the air. It's Hockey Night tonight. Welcome back to the Birth of the Bolt series, FHM 7, that I have been doing. Although we haven't done it now. Last time I did a part was January 30th, for I apologize. So I apologize for the lengthy delay. It is March. It is 1993, and the Tampa Bay Lightning are 15-41 and 8, 38 points. About a month and a half left to go in the season, and we will start with the 3rd of March and a game at home against the Montreal Canadiens. Nearly said Montreal Expos, and of course that would have been wrong. So we will go to the next game, and we're going to try to do a few games for you in this next hour. And there's my save kicking in. There was an update. If you get this game on Steam, you have some unread messages. Yes, I'm going to look at my unread messages in just a moment. There was an update on Steam, but it hasn't fixed the face gen, which shows you only the left shoulder of some of these players at some times. Ron Mueller had his assist streak moved up to 8. He's with the Montreal Canadiens. And board confidence update. Thinks this season is disappointing so far, and you really need to improve the team. Yes, I do. But until we get to a draft and until I get Brian Bradley back, that ain't gonna happen. It was 3-7-1 last month. We did win a few games, and I should show you because I did do February. You saw the first 5 games of February, I believe. So we'll start with February 17 against Detroit. There was a 4-4 tie, then a 3-1 loss at Toronto at the old Maple Leaf Gardens. Then a 3-1 loss at home to Quebec, a 7-2 loss to the Kings, a 3-1 win against Chicago. We seem to have Chicago's number, and that's about it. And a 5-2 loss to Pittsburgh. And that brings us to the 3rd of March. If my mouse will stop just automatically clicking at everything it sees, that would be good. And we're going to do a few games. The update had in it a... Oh, we're going to go straight to the game? We're going to leave the game for a moment and just show you what a few more pieces of email. We have 4 to read. The game came with an update to the 2D engine, so we're going to try the 2D engine again for 3 games, and then we will come back. We're going to try to come back again, and again, my apologies for being gone with this series 2.5 weeks, but we had a little excitement over the last week or so with the Buccaneers winning the Super Bowl, the Lightning continuing to do well, although the Florida Panthers, in real life, in the 2021 season, have now tied the Lightning for the lead in the Central Division after winning last night. Last night, as I record this, being Monday, February 15th. And let's see. Gretzky had a game where he got a hat trick. Well, that should be nothing new to him. 9-1 against Calgary, they won. And Lemieux injured day to day. Teemu Solani had his point streak end. And we have players doing well with it just joined the team. So with that, I'm going to change my manager options again. And I'm just gonna actually I'm just going to move the transactions to the assistant, and I'm going to help initiate and react to trades. And I'll let the assistants do the rest because my hockey IQ is not all that great. And I have been chirping on about 4 minutes, so let's play this game here between Montreal and the Tampa Bay Lightning, which makes me want to say hello to Uncle Ron Juckett. Hope he's doing well. I know he was saying he was having sinus trouble last night as I record this. And yeah, I have that too, and sinus problems can be a real pain in the ass. Okay, so Tampa Bay, when they last played at Montreal, they beat them 6-5. That was October 28th. This game on March 3rd of 1993. Patrick Roy, don't call him Roy, he's in goal for the Canadiens, and it's going to be John Casey in goal for the Lightning. We got him in a trade. We sent Wendell Young to Minnesota, and we picked up John Casey. Keane the top player or the player to watch for Montreal, 42 points in 66 games. Mikael Anderson, 36 points in 54 games. We don't have Brian Bradley because of injury. Keane has a plus minus rating of 5, and Mikael Anderson is -6, which it was in Texas in a few places. And what a shame that has turned in. My thoughts to the people of Texas going through a massive cold blast. And we're going to drop the puck and let's see how this new engine works. Oh, it's going a little fast. We like it going a little fast. Fast cars, fast women, and fast Sims. So, while with a save, you see the players on the bench, and we'll just try to keep along here. If memory serves, we were able to do 3 games with the 2D engine an hour, so we will attempt that here. We'll sim the rest of the games, and we'll try to come back on Saturday and get the Lightning's first season wrapped up. Playing respectively, they're mugging 18 of the Lightning there. Lightning are in the blue and Montreal in the white and red. You could put Benny Hill music to this. But I kind of like it a faster motion. So both teams trying to look for that first goal. Montreal with it now. Some nifty passing and a goal. That was Dion, assisted by Bellows and Savard. The time of the goal, 5 minutes of the first period. And it's 1-0. Yeah, Texas has really gotten hit by a bad case of cold weather. Kirk Mueller, 2 minutes for hooking. And that puts Tampa Bay on the power play. This would be played at the Expo Hall in East Hillsborough County, which is where the Lightning played their first season before moving on to what they called the Thunderdome, which is the name they had for the big dome in St. Petersburg before Tropicana Field. And we have another penalty, and that's going to be hooking against Mueller. So Tampa Bay with another power play, I do believe. Yes, indeed. So the Lightning having trouble even crossing the blue line. And you see them having to reset behind the blue line. First thing that has to cross the puck is the blue line. And something's happening here. A little tussle maybe just a few moments ago. And we have a face-off just outside the neutral zone of Montreal's attacking zone. And high sticking against Lyle Odlin. That's another penalty against... well, actually, no. It's a penalty against... Well, who is the penalty against? Chambers wears 29 on... Yeah, it was against Montreal. Never mind. And let's play, please. We are midway through the first quarter. Not first quarter, first period. What am I saying? And a little rush here for Tampa. I gotta tell you, I watched that Lightning Florida Panther game last night, and Florida came to play. The Lightning had a backup goalie in. They had McElhenney, and he did not play well. He usually does, but he let 6 shots in. And I think the shot total for Florida all night was like in the low 20s. And there's a rush, and no goal. Under 6 minutes left, first period. It's the Canadiens 1 and the Lightning 0. And there's another face-off, 61 for the Lightning. And the Lightning in this sim have been without Brian Bradley most of the year, and Bradley was a big highlight of the expansion year of the Lightning in 92-93 in real life. So I think it's commendable that the Lightning have been within sniffing distance of their real life totals, tripping against Gilbert Dion, number 45 of Montreal. I don't think Tampa Bay has picked up a penalty yet. And we have 3.5 minutes left. And Eric Desjardins, 2 minutes for hooking, 28 for Montreal. Wee wee. And I think they still haven't picked up a penalty yet. And a goal. Well, the game still has the problem of booing a home team's goal and cheering it cheers and boos inappropriately in the 2D engine. Hartman assisted from Lafreniere and Danton Cole, and we're tied at a goal apiece. So Hartman picks up the first goal. That'll help his plus-minus total. So the Lightning, they should be excited. The Lightning scored and tied the game. So we still have that happening in the 2D engine. So this is going to be a brief comeback, kind of like Richard Dawson hosting Family Feud of the 2D engine. We'll probably go back to the basic engine with the next episode, which we're going to try to do on Saturday for you. I always try to determine I always classify comebacks as the George Foreman comeback, meaning it was good, or a Richard Dawson comeback, meaning he ever came back. Because he hosted Family Feud a year or two in '94. He made a comeback after letting others host it. Well, they didn't want Dawson. Ray Combs hosted for a while. He wound up being a sad story. So we're 1-1 after 20 minutes. 10 shots on Raw and 7 on Casey. So we're out shooting them. There's that. So ever since the 90s, I kind of define things as either a George Foreman comeback or a Richard Dawson comeback. Just one of my Paulie speaks. There's a rush for the Lightning, but no goal. You got to be good to get something past Patrick Waugh. Of course, the Lightning have a very good goalie right now in Vasilevsky, the Russian. Look at Montreal just holding off, triple teaming these Lightning players. So a face-off in the Montreal zone. They look for the goal to tie the game, take the lead here, 2-1. And we have another penalty against Mike Keane. And that is again, let's see, he wears number 12, and that's another penalty against Montreal. They're racking up penalty minutes left and right, and all the Lightning can do is play even with Montreal at this point. Now, I believe in real life this was the last year that the Canadiens won the Stanley Cup. Oh, we had a fight. We had Eric Desjardins get into a fight with somebody. Looks like it was Hartman. So the first penalty against Tampa here. They both go to the sin bin for 5 minutes. And there was some chippiness in that Lightning Panther game that I was just referring to last night, February 15th, 2021. And we're still tied at a goal each. Tampa Bay had a power play here, which has now since expired. I should have caught that. And let's see, unsportsmanlike conduct against John Leclerc, number 14, again against Montreal. If it wasn't for the fighting penalty, I think Tampa Bay would be clean on the discipline. So another power play for Tampa Bay. And this is Kraken. 2 minutes for interference. So finally, see, he's 22, that's us. So finally, Tampa Bay picks up a penalty that wasn't a fighting penalty. So now we're even, 4-on-4 for a minute 40, and then Montreal with the power play for 20 seconds. And a little icing there, so back to the Montreal zone we go. Tampa Bay showing a lot of fight here tonight in this one game. So we will be doing games for about an hour. We'll be posting it on YouTube, which has already happened by the time you see this. Peter Bondra, 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. So we have two number 12s in the game for Montreal. I don't know if that's allowed. Little switcheroo on the face-off here. 12:05 left in the second. Still a 1-1 tie. And let's see what we have here. Rob Ramage, 2 minutes for hooking. Which is going to give Montreal a man advantage here, I think. They have a power play now for 1:30. 1-1 tie. Second period. Now Montreal, I'm sure, is going to the playoffs in this sim. And when we finish the season, we're going to do April of 1993 as our next part, and then we're going to try to show you the last games of the Stanley Cup, the elimination games. Show you who takes home the trophy. That's what we're going to try to do. Tried doing this a few times in FHM 6, and it didn't work. I got it the last season that I did. I did 3 seasons of the Hartford Whalers, and you saw me blow up that franchise. So, I guess when it comes to hockey, I'm deaf to flying things here. So we're under 7 minutes left in the second. It's 1-1 still. Look at 13 fighting off 3 defenders of Montreal there for a little bit. Casey playing a good game in goal for Tampa Bay. And that puck's going to Pluto. I wonder if there's a graphical simulation of curling. Probably it's popular in Canada and probably some of the northern European countries. Depending on where you live in the world, I'm sure there, like for instance, there are cricket games and curling games. Oh, we had another fight. We had Odolin get into it with somebody. Hartman again, because he's now up to 10 penalty minutes. So it's getting feisty. 3 minutes left in the second, and neither team in the power play, so this is going to be coincidental majors. Is that what they call it? Coincidental majors? In real life, the Lightning's next game is Thursday night, the 18th. They play Dallas in Dallas. Of course, Dallas has really been hit by the cold weather that I have been talking about in Texas. They're supposed to get a winter storm tomorrow. Not too frequently, you could say that Dallas gets hit by snow. Of course, there was that famous Thanksgiving Day game between Miami and Dallas. I want to say like 93, 94 or so. The Leon Lett game. Okay, so we've ended 2 periods. 20 saves for Wawa, 19 for Casey. So Montreal's gotten 19 shots and Tampa Bay has gotten 20. Let's take a look at the box score real fast. It's 14 penalty minutes now. Well, 10 of those were penalties. 10 of them were fighting penalties. It's 20-19 on shots, and we are still dead even and 1 goal each. We go to the third period. Last game of the playoffs too. No, that's stopping Tom Carter's good old hockey game. I was just listening to that on YouTube to get me in the mood to do a little hockey here. And a face-off in the Tampa Bay zone. Somebody got excused from the face-off. Montreal playing a little keep away in their own zone. Back to the Tampa Bay zone, which is the Montreal defending zone. A lot of zones. Montreal trying to move it ahead, and that's icing against Montreal. So back to Tampa Bay's attacking zone. And I think that's another icing? I don't know. One to one. We are 15:45 left now in the third period. We play a 5-minute overtime with these rules from this era, and should we not have a winner after 5, the game is a tie. This is long before they did shootouts and all that jazz. Of course, in the playoffs, they play 20-minute periods until somebody wins. And of course, Tampa Bay against Columbus in August. Yes, they played the 2020 playoffs in August, thanks to Mr. Coe. They had a 5 overtime game against the Columbus Blue Jackets. They would come along later. And look at Casey holding up his own right now against Montreal. Very impressive showing. Montreal wanting to show that Tampa Bay wanting to show they could hang with the best teams. And we have Casey holding the puck there, which is his right, but you get a face-off in the attacking zone. Almost midway through the third, and we're still tied at 1-1. So we hope you are all well in this middle of February. Again, I will apologize again for not getting to this series. I thought I had only missed about a week, and we were doing some other projects with the Super Bowl. I did a Giants-Bills Super Bowl 25 sim because I happened to be so lucky to attend that game as a Ute, back when I was 19. So check out that sim. I did that a couple of weeks ago. I did a Super Bowl 25 replay and tribute. If you like the football, the American football. 7:47 now left in the third, 1-1 tie. And we have a penalty against AstraZeneca, and that's for cross-checking. At least the check didn't bounce. And now Montreal goes on the power play. 6:45 now left, and we are tied at a goal each. Happy to be with you again today. Definitely want to do more of this lightning sim because generally I'm terrible at hockey. My IQ is not that good. I just called a period a quarter, for heaven's sakes. Under 5, third period. Both teams trying to push in the attacking zone with the puck. I'm still trying to figure out how Montreal has 212. There was a nice little chip out there by Casey. Got to it before Montreal could. 3 minutes, 15 seconds now left in regulation time. 1-1 tie still. Who wants this game more? 2 minutes, 21 seconds left. Looking like we will have time to do 2 more games after this one. In fact, I don't think we've had a goal since the first period. So if somebody could break through here, that would be good. Under a minute. We're looking at that 5-minute OT square in the face now. Under 20 seconds. And we will go to overtime. 1-1. Raw now up to 33 saves. 33 shots attempted, 32 saves. And Casey has saved 28 of 29. So here we go. 5 minutes to decide it. Sudden death if somebody should score. And tripping against Brian Bellows. Don't you hold the whistle in overtime. So Montreal gets a power play. We won't criticize that too much. And let's see here. A fighting J.J. Dagenot, I'm going to say. And he got into another fight. And I think Hartman got into a fight. Third, he's got the hat trick of fights. He's been in 3 fights tonight. Wonder if he won them all. Did he win one? Did he win two? Did he win none? 4 minutes now left in overtime. And Montreal has scored. We'll have to check the box score to see who got the goal. But Montreal got a sudden death overtime goal. That was by Schneider, Matthew Schneider. And that was the game winner. 2-1, Montreal wins. Now, I don't think you get anything in terms of points. Yeah, they're still at 38 points. Back in this era, if you go to overtime and lose. In a later era, you'd get 1 point for taking a team to overtime. We're 22nd in points, still at 38, 23rd in goals, 15th in goals against. So our defense is good. And we're 12% on the power play and 76% on the penalty killing, and neither of those stats are outstanding. So let's see what happened in the rest of the league on this given day, March 3rd, 1992. Where were you on March 3rd, 1992, you might wonder? We're 15, 39, and 8. We got no shot at the playoffs. And they're simming off a few things. Jason Lafreniere improving at left wing. Mueller's streak, he came into a streak with 8 games with 1 assist, and that ended today. Ended with this game. Doug Crossman coming back for the Lightning. Mike Modano hurt for the Minnesota North Stars. Peter Klima now with a 5-goal streak. He is with the Edmonton Oilers, and he did that against Winnipeg. And there is the email about Doug Crossman. So we will move ahead. Now this is another game I went to. I went to this game with an uncle and a cousin of mine who was, this game was her 10th birthday present. And this is Tampa Bay against Calgary. And I went to this game, and I think Tampa Bay won like 8-6, so a shootout kind of score like that. So I get to do another game that I actually attended. So this is going to be nice. We'll just continue with the line set up by my assistant. And again, I have the half a shoulder face gen here. The Lightning have played the Calgary twice in the regular season. They have played them to a 1-1 tie on November 14, and then they played at the Saddle Dome and lost to them 5-4. So I get to do another game on this channel that I actually went to. Tampa Bay and Calgary. Calgary it'll look like Montreal here with the white buttons and red trim, and Tampa Bay in the blue. This is kind of fun, actually. Now, the game I went to, Brian Radley was available. In this game, he is not because he was injured quite a while ago. So this is kind of cool to watch a game that you went to, that I went to, March 8, 1993. My cousin's birthday was March 11th. And still is, by the way. She's still alive. She'll be turning 39 in about a month, so. Long time ago. And she was quizzing me about all the logos. They hung logos up on the roof of the expo, and there was like, oh, Paulie, what's this one? What's that one? I'm like, the New York Rangers. And that one's the Vancouver Canucks, and that one is the Quebec Nordiques. Where's Quebec? You know, what's Quebec? Is that the guy that hosts Jeopardy? You know, no, that's Alex Trebek. You know, children are inquisitive, and always will be. Holly, can I have a sip of your beer? No, you can't. Uh, my cousin is a female cousin. So she got very, very interested in hockey for a few weeks. And let's see, that's a face-off in the Calgary attacking zone. Calgary Flames, who won a Stanley Cup in 1986. Of course, Tampa Bay would play them in '04 in the Stanley Cup, and Tampa won that in 7 games. If I remember correctly, Calgary had us dead to right. We had to win the 6th game on the road, and we won that in double OT to play the 7th game on a Monday night, and Tampa Bay won that. As I've mentioned on other series that I do, it's kind of weird. Tampa Bay won a Stanley Cup, they won a Super Bowl, and they won the American League pennant, and now within a few months, all of those things exactly happened again. Maybe not in the same sequence, but it's kind of weird, thanks to COVID, that all these things would wind up happening not too far apart. All the best accomplishments of the franchise. Now the Lightning are going for back-to-back Stanley Cups. They could be the first team in Tampa to win 2. And as recent events have shown, that's not going to be easy. I think Florida's a very good team. You could have the Central Division come down to Tampa Bay and the Florida Panthers. Of course, they play in Broward County, representing South Florida. They're in that same neck of the woods, or probably not too far away from where the Miami Dolphins play, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, which is actually kind of like close to the Dade-Broward County line. Five minutes left in the first period. I hope you're enjoying my little off-the-wall banter as we walk you through these games from March of 1993. Of the expansion Tampa Bay Lightning, and the eventual goal of this series is to see if I can get the Lightning to the playoffs in 1996. By 1996, I had moved to Marietta, Georgia, and it was nice to hear about the Lightning making the playoffs, even though I wasn't living there anymore. A hooking penalty against Adam Kraken, 2 minutes for him, and I believe that is the first penalty of the game. Yes, it is. Looking at the stats real fast, and let's keep playing. 3:02 first period, so we had a clean first period. One of the things you can now do in Franchise Hockey Manager is to play with the Seattle Kraken, who come into the league in the fall, if things ever get back to normal thanks to COVID. Seattle got an expansion franchise. Of course, Seattle had a history of the National Hockey League dating back to the 1910s. You would think they would have gotten a hockey team earlier than they did, earlier than Las Vegas got one. But now they get the hockey franchise they have been awaiting. You would just think, being in the Pacific Northwest, that the Kraken or Seattle would get an expansion team, but it hasn't happened until now. So we're starting the second period. No score. I forgot to give you the shot total. I could always stop the game and show you what has been happening. Let's see. Shots are 9-9. So we'll take you back to our regularly scheduled game here. 19 minutes left in the second. And a face-off. This in the Calgary zone. If I remember correctly, in real life, the score was like 8-6 or 7-5 or something like that. A high-scoring game because both these teams like to play wide open, and Tampa Bay wound up being a little better at it than Calgary was that night. Three minutes gone by in the second. Still no score. And we will have time for one more game after this. And then next part I will probably go back to the classic engine where you get the results fast. The engine that was used in FHM 6 because this graphical engine doesn't look all that different to the engine they had before. OOTP 21 winding down, so I'm sure there's going to be announcements in terms of that. Should listen to the OOTP Now podcast from last Friday at some point tonight. No score, 13 minutes left in the period. And as I had been saying in the last hour, there's your goal. And that was Theo Fleury. Assist by Yanni. And that came 7:42 in the second period. So 1-0 Calgary. Hope everybody is doing well with the continuation from last year with COVID. Hopefully that gets resolved soon. Of course, in the news as of late, vaccines are going out to senior citizens, which is a good thing, which means that eventually it'll get to us younger folk. In fact, I'm reading the news right now as I do this game for you, and haven't seen anything about the vaccine. They've been talking about Las Vegas's airport being named for Harry Reid, the former senator of Nevada, because they wanted to disavow. It was named McCarran Airport before that. I've been to McCarran a few times. Been to the Las Vegas Greyhound station a little bit more. Let's see. Chambers with it. Dahl. Larionov back to Dahl. Bergevin. 5 minutes left second period. Still a 1-0 Calgary lead. Hooking against Rob DeMaio. He is with Tampa Bay, so Calgary with the 2-minute power play. 4 minutes, 37 seconds now left. I tell you what, folks, if you see this video on my YouTube channel, Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims, tell me what you would like to see. There's a goal for the Lightning, even though the crowd doesn't react to it. That was Bergquist, assisted by Veritsky, and we are dead even at a goal apiece. I always get the crowd reaction wrong. They should be cheering. So we're at a goal all with 3:49 second period. Would you like me to keep doing the games in the 2D engine that you're seeing now, or do you like the old way I do it? So if you're seeing this, let me know in the comment section. What should I do? Should I just keep doing the games with the 2D engine, or should I just go back to what I was doing? With this, I only get about 3 games in an hour, but if I do it the old FHM 6 way, I can get 5 in. So if any of you seeing this, just call this an informal poll. and I'll probably mention it in the comments. I don't mind either way. It's just I like the games to go faster, and with the 2D engine, they kind of go slower. You get a game takes 20 minutes in 2D, but if you do the games the old way, you could get a game done in 12 to 15 minutes. And I would just rather speed through the games. But don't let me influence what you would like to see me do. And if you all want me to keep doing these games in 2D, I will. Okay, so we are 1-1 through 20. Let's just take a look at the shots real fast. It's 21-15 Calgary. And let's get back to the game. Because again, I forgot to show you that and slow down. Goal each. And if you know of something I can do with the sound effects, so when the Lightning score a goal at home, they're not booing, let me know. Drop me a line in the old comments section. So we're 17 and a half, now a little less gone by, left to go in the third. And as I was saying in the first game, we tie, we go to OT for 5 minutes. Of course, another question with the series is, can I win a Stanley Cup before 2004? When Tampa Bay finally did. And there's a goal. Calgary has surged ahead. That is Forsland, Drury, and Wilson on the assists at 5:01 into the third period. 2-1, Calgary leading. Who's the guy who used to say that on SportsCenter? Kenny Mayne used to say assist. Did a little thing with the word assists. Yeah, not a lot of sports news. There's an Amber Alert in my area right now at 5:19 on the 16th of February, a Tuesday, as I record this. "75% of the United States right now covered in snow, including a good chunk of Texas, which is kind of unusual. Midway through the third period, still 2-1 Calgary. Make that 3-1 Calgary, as it is Yanni getting another goal, Nieuwendyk and Fleury at 9:27. And my 10-year-old cousin-to-be is not happy. Hooking against Ronnie Stern, Baba Booey, coming at 9:41 into the third period. Now this is before 1993. Howard Stern was a big name in radio, but it would be several years before he would come on in Tampa. First time I listened to Howard Stern when I was in Las Vegas. I was in Las Vegas for a few weeks in 1996 and a few weeks in 2000. I enjoyed the hell out of each time, and I want to go back one day. Of course, this Lightning logo at the middle of the ice, this is tripping against Bergquist, so Calgary on the power play for 2, which is not going to help Tampa Bay's comeback effort. They didn't have this logo yet. The Lightning did, so it's a modern logo. Gary Suter hooking. So I think we're 4-4 now. Yes, we are for a minute 32, and then Tampa gets a power play for 28 seconds, which is not long. We've been keeping the Grand Slam Wrestling Series going. Just had a world title change in that. Still doing the OOTP. We're going to continue to do OOTP until OOTP 22 is released. and I might do a campaign, general manager campaign, using OOTP 22. I always used to do the 62 Mets because the 62 Mets were kind of like a mission impossible. If you don't set the options to stay hired as a GM, you're usually fired by 65. Stephane Richer, 2 minutes for hooking. I don't think he was chasing prostitutes on Florida Avenue in Tampa. I think he hooked the player on the Lightning. Yes, that's a famous hooker spot and has been for years in Tampa. Florida Avenue, by not too far from the University of South Florida. That's where you could pick up the ladies. Not that I've ever done it, because it's kind of dangerous. So, all of you watching, I've given you where to go for strip clubs in Tampa and where to go get a hooker. And I don't recommend getting a hooker. Oh, empty net time here for Calgary. The game was whizzing by, and I wasn't really even noting the time. And Calgary, with 2 seconds left, I'm sure they have won, and they have 3-1 over Tampa Bay. So the Lightning went 0-2 so far, and they are holding at 38 points. Well, I still have a job with the Lightning come the 93-94 season. Yanni picked up one of the stars, Veritsky for Tampa Bay, and Blomberg, kind of close to my last name, Calgary, picked up one of the stars. Nobody had a bad game for Tampa Bay, and a whole bunch of players played well for Calgary. Mike Vernon, Nieuwendyk, Fleury, and Dahl. So that's 2 games in the books, and we will have time for one more. And I am stuck, I think. I'm 1540 and 8. Well, my standings say I'm 15 and 40, but up here on the top it looks like it's saying 15 and 43. Oh well. Don't know how that happened. So let's see what's been happening. Klima, a 6-goal streak, and he picked up 3 goals in a 6-5 Toronto win over Winnipeg. Minor injuries sidelines Timo Solani, Tino Cicarelli up to 12 points. He is with the Minnesota North Stars. And Peter Stastny picked up his 1,200th point when Philly and New Jersey went to a 2-2 overtime tie. So our last game of the night is going to be Winnipeg and Tampa Bay. Winnipeg will be the road team. Just had to double check on that. So my standings say I'm 15, 40, and 3, but it's being represented up here on this line on the left up top at 15, 43, and 8. The Lightning have lost their last game. The Jets have lost 3 in a row. Mark Rogen might reach 100 points tonight. He's at 96. Hartman might reach 50 goals. Hartman's at 50 goals? Huh. Ken Hodge might reach 50 goals tonight. He's at 47. Luciano Borsato is at 47 goals. Mike Lawler is at 97 points. Tipo Nooneman is at 49. And Darren Shannon might reach 100 points. He is at 97. So let's go. Berglund, Bureau, and Crom are scratched for Tampa Bay. The scratches for Winnipeg, LaForge, Solani, and Ulanoff. So we might get a little bit of an advantage here not having to face Tino Solani. Now again, the Jets, I don't believe this is the Jets logo was their logo at the time. Of course, the Winnipeg Jets moved somewhere. And then they granted an expansion franchise, Cole for slashing, Only 42 seconds into the game. I believe Winnipeg's in white, and they get a power play goal. Housley, assisted by Eddie Olczyk, who you see on NBC these days, and it is 1-0. Winnipeg, the Winnipeg Jets moved to where? The original Winnipeg Jets. And then they wound up getting the Atlanta Trashers. So who were the original Winnipeg Jets? No, this is their... I'm sorry, folks. This is their correct logo, because I'm seeing it here on Wikipedia. They became the Phoenix Coyotes, and then the NHL gave an expansion franchise. This is kind of like what the NFL did with the Cleveland Browns. The original Cleveland Browns moved to Baltimore, so the NFL gave an expansion franchise in '99 to Cleveland. So this is kind of the same thing, but not exactly. They gave an expansion franchise to Atlanta. The Trashers wound up moving to Winnipeg, and they retook the name the Jets. Olesen with a penalty. He's one of their guys, I think. And Tampa Bay has equalized. That is Doug Crossman. Assisted from Hammerlick and Hartman, and the time of that goal was 5:40. So this going like the first two games we have done has. The away team getting a goal, Tampa Bay getting a goal, and now Winnipeg getting a goal again. And that is Kachuk from Drews and Housley, and it is 2-1 in favor of Winnipeg. Might be more of a challenge to do the 65 Yankees as a campaign in OOTP 22. Take over the Yankees after they were in their last World Series. That might be fun. That was also the year that Major League Baseball went to the draft, and the Yankees couldn't, buy all the hot talent. And the worst teams got the best players, which wasn't always true in baseball. Before the draft, the Yankees could always just reload. Midway through the first period, a 2-1 Winnipeg lead. Last game we're doing today. And then over the weekend, I'll try to come back and give you a April of '93. So we probably won't be doing any more video projects until the weekend. But I wanted to do some FHM for you because I knew I hadn't done FHM in a while, but I didn't realize it had been 2.5 weeks. So let's get that going for you tonight. We have 8 minutes now left in the first period, holding against Kraken. And that came at 11:52 to be precise. Of course, this year with COVID, they have one division where it's just all Canadian teams. Interference against Stu Barnes, number 14 for Winnipeg. So it's going to be 5-on-3 for a minute 37 for Tampa Bay. This will be a good shot at goal for them. Of course, Winnipeg shorthanded. They're going for a goal themselves here. Number 8 for Tampa Bay was getting rather abused. No penalties. Last 30, about 20 seconds or so of the... we have a tripping penalty against Sean Chambers, so there goes the power play. Now it'll be a power play for Winnipeg for 14 seconds, and you need a scientific calculator to figure out the rest of the penalties. I was discovering today on my iPhone that you could get a scientific calculator for it. I kind of wonder, does anybody these days use a scientific calculator who's not a student or anything like that? What I always used to love about scientific calculators is they had a random number generator on them. Mike Lawler, 2 minutes for tripping. First game I ever got board game was Sureco Grand Slam Baseball, which kind of a simplified version of Stratomatic. But what I loved about it is you could figure out your own statistics. You could just look at, say, how Mickey Mantle did in 1956, and you can give him a rating. That's what I loved about it. Some of the other games like Stratomatic, they don't give you the secret sauce, but Sureco did. I always liked Sureco. I guess that puck landed behind the net. It did. We're still at 2-1, final minute of the first period. Remember Winnipeg being a high-scoring team back at this era, and we've reached the end of the first period. 10 shots on goal against Tabaraki, I believe that is how you pronounce the Winnipeg goalie's name, and Casey has given up 2 goals and gotten 11 saves. So it's 13-10 Tampa Bay, 13-10 Winnipeg on shots. We'll go to the second, a 2-1 game. Your 8th period of the day. I wonder if that Tampa Bay Calgary game was on Hockey Night in Canada that we just did, the second game. Because it was a Saturday night. And it involved the Canadian team, and I know that CBC would love to show you the Canadian teams when at all possible. I think I've told this story before that my family, very briefly, had a satellite dish, and you could get CBC on off of the Anik satellite, Anik, Anik. Of course, now I think the TSN now has a whole bunch of games. Not the CFL. CFL didn't play this year, 2020. What was I saying? Oh, hockey games. Yeah, the NHL. I'm sure TSN has a lot of games. In fact, I was reading up on how Stanley Cups were covered on TV in the 50s and 60s. And whoever carried the Stanley Cup games, I believe it was CBC, they would join the games in progress. You would see the game, but you would only see, you'd miss the first period. And then as the games wore on and you got deeper into a Stanley Cup, like, say, Game 6, Game 7, they would show you all the games, and that's the only time they did it. It's high sticking against Mikkel Anderson of Tampa Bay, so Tampa Bay looking a bit peaked in this third game that we're showing you. Eight minutes gone by, second period. We're still at 2-1, Winnipeg leading. Remember about a CFL and the Lightning score. Wait a minute. Zamner, Bergevin, and Niemanen on the assist. Niemanen. Yeah, we're dead even. 2-2. Thought I called a goal for the wrong team. But I did not. 2-2. Tampa Bay in blue. Winnipeg in the white. With the blue trim around their buttons and numbers. And Tampa Bay in blue. Actually, Tampa Bay kind of wore black at this time. Black jerseys and white numbers. But we're looking forward to the release of OOTP 22, and that should be about a month from now, maybe a little later. And I haven't seen any mail yet as to the features. Okay, just looking at things in my mail. 2-1. No, I'm sorry. 2-1 was the score. It's now 2-2. Another face-off in the Winnipeg attacking zone. Shout-outs to Al Red Sox fan, Uncle Ron Juckett, Dave Gardner, Dave Little, and that I love that elite basketball league he does. Might use an offshoot of that for my Grand Slam Wrestling project. And Winnipeg has retaken the lead. Stu Barnes, assisted by Shannon and Kennedy. No, not Shannon Kennedy. Last names of Shannon and Kennedy. 3-2. Well, Shannon Kennedy could be a guy's name, too. You know, Shannon for Shannon, Ireland. You could go into Dublin, Ireland. You could also there was also a big airport in Shannon, Ireland. Winnipeg looking for an insurance goal here. 3-2 late in the second. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself here, people. Under 3. One guy getting past the blue line, but whenever one guy for the Lightning does, seems to be 3 guys waiting for him, and there's another case of that. They're just getting picked clean every time they try to get it past the blue line. We're under a minute now. Tampa Bay in the attacking zone. Looking for that equalizing goal, which they have already found twice tonight. And we're nearing the end of the second period, which has come, and it's 3-2 Winnipeg. Tabarachi, 15 saves, 17 shots attempted his way. Casey's seeing a lot of work, 22 saves, 25 shots attempted his way. So let's go to the third. Actually, this is our 10th period tonight because we had a 5-minute overtime in the Tampa Bay-Montreal game. So 3 Canadian teams have been featured tonight. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Still got a little ways to go in this one. Rob Zomner, 2 minutes for holding. Or Zamner. So Winnipeg on the power play. And we got another penalty. Veritsky, 2 minutes for hooking. So it's 5-on-3 now for Winnipeg. You can't do any better than that. And let's see, Keith Kachuk on sportsmanlike conduct, so we go back to a 5-on-4. Get out that scientific calculator again to figure out all the penalties. And face off just out in the neutral zone, just outside Tampa Bay's own goal. Tampa Bay cannot push it up the ice to save their lives. Here's a chance, but again, they get ganged up by a couple of Jets, but that's what they're supposed to do, of course. Icing. Back to the Winnipeg attacking zone. About 5 minutes left now. 5 minutes gone by in the third. Well, 4:33 to be exact. Oh, look at that. All the Winnipeg players on one guy. Rob DeMaio gets the penalty for high sticking. It was 1 against 5, and one of the Lightning players gets the penalty, and now a goal for Winnipeg, of course. Newmanen, assisted by Eddie Olczyk and Phil Housley. 4-2 Winnipeg with 14:28 left. The Lightning will get better. It's just will the game allow me to be around when the Lightning gets better? Okay, 6:52 now gone by in the third. 4-2, Jets leading over the Lightning. Jets. Jets. Face off just outside the Tampa Bay attacking zone. Now Winnipeg on the march. Of course, Winnipeg, the home of Monty Hall, the legendary late game show host. Let's make a deal. He did hockey before he did hockey and wrestling before he made it big on TV with that great game show of his, Let's Make a Deal, which is now done on CBS and now lasts an hour, hosted by Wayne Brady. And Monty Hall did the color commentary for the New York Rangers in the late 50s. And like I said, on top of doing game shows, he did hockey and he did pro wrestling. Along with another guy that made the transition from wrestling to game shows, Dennis James. Under 8 minutes, third period, and I nearly said quarter again. A 4-2 Winnipeg lead. See if Tampa Bay could get back into this, but they're running out of time. And John Casey held the puck there. A little switcheroo on the face-off. And it's a penalty against Bergquist, which is not going to help Tampa Bay's cause any. Winnipeg again on the power play. And another power play goal for them. It is Olczyk assisting Phil Housley. So Olczyk's probably going to get a star of the game, I would think. 5-2, third period. And these are the kind of games where one team fades late where you might see a fight or two. If it were real life, I don't know if that'll happen in this game. Of course, Tampa Bay and Winnipeg don't play each other a heck of a lot. I don't think they were in the same division in this year. Look at that tenacious Winnipeg defense. My goodness, they're all over the place. Looking for another goal, even though they probably have enough. About under 3 minutes now left in the third, and we can't end this any sooner. The way this has been going, looks like we're going to go 0-3 in this little set of games. And the Lightning get a goal. It's a late goal, but we'll take it. Nieminen, no assist. It looked like some sloppy handling of the puck in not Washington, but Winnipeg's own zone. So they get a consolation goal. A minute left. It's 5-3. No way they're going to get another couple of goals here in a minute. In fact, we're now down under 10 seconds. That'll do it. Winnipeg prevails 5-3. So we'll give you the stars of the game. It was Housley. It was Nieminen. It was Olczyk. Told you Eddie Olczyk would be there. These teams last played November 17 in Tampa, and Winnipeg won that one 2-1. Hartman had a good game for Tampa Bay, but nobody had a bad game. A whole bunch of players had good games for Winnipeg. Nobody had a bad game. Winnipeg didn't use Bob Essenza. So we continue on. 5-3. That was a rather disappointing performance in this part for the Lightning. We went 0-3, although we took Montreal to overtime. But you don't get anything in sports for moral victories, and this was not one of them. I don't know why they're saying I am 15-44-8 up here, and in the standings board I am 15-41-8. Did it forget to do 3 games? I do not know. It says I have played 67 games when in fact I have played. Oh, actually no, that is right. It is 15-44-8. Let's look at the standings again, because let's rectify this. It's wins, losses, and ties. And it says I have played 67 games, which is accurate. And maybe this is incorrect because this is saying, actually, no, this is also saying I have played 67 games, which doesn't make any sense. Okay, 15 wins, 41 losses. That would be 56, and ties would be 8. So that'd be 64, but it says GP is 67. So I'm not getting, the standings are not correct. Like, for instance, Los Angeles has 41, 22, and 4. It might have something to do with overtime losses, and maybe that's what's being figured in somehow. 41, 22 is 63, 4 is 67, and it says they've played 68. So anyway, I think they have it right. I just haven't figured out how they have gotten it right yet. So we will get out of here. I will sim the rest of March, come back to you this weekend, and play out April. And then we will show you how the Lightning fared in year number 1. And probably show you the last few games of the Stanley Cup in the next episode after April, which we'll try to get for you about this time next week. So thank you for dropping by these last minute, 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 8 seconds. So it'll probably be a little more than that when I hit the stop button. Godspeed and God bless. This has been Big Paulie coming to you. We will do it again soon. Probably look for some more videos this weekend. Bye-bye for now, everybody.